Ben Shapiro has obliterated or humiliated Tucker Carlson recently in a video that he did for Tucker doing absolutely nothing other than trying to demoralize America, trying to attack Trump. And we already know that if Tucker Carlson doesn't like you, he will go after you with a vengeance. We've seen that a number of times. Tucker Carlson won't debate Ben Shapiro because it's quite clear Tucker Carlson is afraid of Ben Shapiro. He's afraid of what will actually happen between him and Ben. So Tucker doesn't really know much, if anything at all. And he said that a number of times. He doesn't know anything. He's just a journalist. He'll claim that he doesn't lie, but then he does lie all the time. Everyone lies, by the way. And Ben Shapiro, who is actually quite intelligent, a lot more intelligent than Tucker Carlson, I'll have you know, Tucker is afraid to debate someone like Ben because Tucker knows full well that he can't go up against Ben Shapiro. He knows that there will be so many clips. He'll know that his audience members, even though they are loyal and faithful because Tucker just loves running his mouth and that's about it, they know that if they see someone like Tucker get obliterated and humiliated by the likes of Ben Shapiro, it's going to leave a bit of a mark against Tucker Carlson, and people will be talking about it for quite some time. So instead, he just talks about Ben and throws shade and lies about Ben Shapiro and then continues to demoralize America while also claiming to be America first and all that sort of other nonsense. So Ben Shapiro makes this video. I'm not too sure when he made it. I think it was relatively recently. I'm fairly certain of that. Yoel Yacobi over on X posted it, and I want to show it to you because notice how Tucker Carlson loves to demoralize or dehumanize and attack certain countries or certain people whenever he feels like it, has actual no basis or evidence to go off whatsoever. It's just my personal viewpoint says this, so therefore I'm going to go with that, and I'm Tucker Carlson, so I don't care what the hell you have to say about that. I'm just Tucker Carlson, right? I am a journalist, and by his own words, not a very good one. So Tucker has no solutions at all for any of the problems that he is trying to, well, any of the problems he's talking about, right? So the whole Israel-Gaza thing. Instead, he creates a narrative very much like Candace Owens does, one against Israel. He is obsessed with the Israel narrative, that being against it. He claims that he's America first, but then he attacks Trump for bombing Iran. That ended up working out in America's favor, didn't it? But Tucker Carlson, the entire time, was like, oh, we don't need to get into a war. This is wrong. This is bad. And then also attacking Trump for siding with Israel. And then he'll have a mother, a Jippa, a pro-Hamas supporter on his show and no pushback whatsoever. He'll agree with her and he'll actually throw her softball questions because he knows exactly what she stands for. It is so disingenuous. And then also he'll interview the president of Iran and no pushback at all when the guy tries to say that the death to America chant isn't exactly what you think that it is. It doesn't mean really death to America when you got young kids in the streets yelling it. So what does it mean? But Tucker Carlson couldn't care less about any of that. He's a grifter. He's doing it for money. The guy that owns his company, I believe, is Qatar. Notice how when people go over to Qatar, they usually change their tune very quickly. I look for consistency. People that have been saying the same thing over a long period of time. And when they start changing all of a sudden, you've got to question why. Anyway, have a watch of Ben Shapiro pretty much humiliate and obliterate Tucker Carlson for doing absolutely nothing other than constantly demoralizing America. By the way, it is sped up a hell of a lot more so it may be hard for you guys to follow, and I apologize about that.
There. What is the real stuff he's talking about? Seriously, what is the real stuff? And who's the president of the United States whose name he will not mention? For some reason, he treats the president of the United States. He sort of treats him as though he is Voldemort. If you say his name, he will appear. But all the things he's saying right here are condemning the president of the United States. Let's just be very clear about this. When he says that people are being distracted by bombing Iran, who's the one who bombed Iran? The president of the United States. When he says it's a distraction to get the boys out of the girls' sports, which is not a distraction, it's a major issue in the United States that we ended the trans threat to truth and reality. When he says that, who did that? That was Donald J. Trump. And then he says he's feeding appetizers. But he wants a country, he says, where people aren't sleeping on the sidewalks, which, by the way, is typically a local and state issue, where people aren't ODing on drugs. And then he says Why can't you stop it? You've got the U.S. military. Don't you have SEAL Team 6? I have a question. Is Tucker in favor of using SEAL Team 6 to go after the Mexican drug cartels? I kind of am. So I would love to know if Tucker is in favor of an interventionist conflict in Mexico in order to take out the Mexican drug cartels. Really? Like, is he? If so, he should probably spell it out. But notice there's never a solution. He doesn't even have anybody on to discuss these problems on his show. He will never talk about how to solve the problems. This is why I say it's about demoralization. It's about making you feel about the country. Because there is never a solution emerging from Tucker Carlson. I'll give this to Zoran Mamdani, who I think is one of the worst people in American political history. His solutions are absolute trash garbage. But at least he's offering some. Tucker goes out there and doesn't offer any solutions at all. Instead, Tucker goes out there and posits that everything is wrong in the world. Every victory is in fact an appetizer or a loss. In fact, he says, elites are using Iran as a distraction while they steal our money. I have a question. Who bombed Iran? Why don't you say his name? Say it. I dare you. I triple dog dare you. The president of the United States is the one who pulled the trigger on the Iran attack, the most successful single foreign policy.
You've got Ben Shapiro saying that he has more respect for Mamdani, who is a communist Islamist. If you got more respect for someone that actually has these solutions, not very good ones at that, but at least he's got some solutions, right? Tucker, on the other hand, has none. And if you got Ben Shapiro saying, look, I actually have a little bit more respect for Mamdani than I do for Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson's whole shtick is to demoralize America and throw shade on President Trump. It's like President Trump is apparently the boogeyman to Tucker Carlson, because we saw in an interview recently, and I even made a reaction to it, Tucker Carlson lying, saying that he didn't apologize to Trump. You saw his reaction. It was quite visceral, actually. It was as if when you mentioned Trump's name, the hairs go up on his head. It's like, oh no, not Trump again. No, I didn't apologize to Trump. No, what in the world are you saying? What are you on about? And to me, it's just, I'm watching this all unfold and I'm like, people need to wake the hell up and realize that he's a very bad faith individual. He's not good. You may call him a conservative, but really when the guy said that he was attacked by a demon in his sleep, you better damn well believe it, because the things that he's saying at the moment, I believe wholeheartedly that people can be demon possessed. And it doesn't have to be quite brash or brazen, albeit a lot of the stuff actually is quite bold, quite brash, and quite brazen, saying that, well, looking at the issue of trans people in sports, like men in female sports, oh, that's not a huge victory. It's not that big. And then also Trump bombing Iran, that was dangerous. That was running cover for Islam, for example. That's demonic. There's a lot of demonic stuff that Tucker Carlson has been repeating, and all going up against the likes of Trump. Don't know if you guys have seen any of the recent interviews that Tucker Carlson has done. He's not having anyone that is actually pretty intelligent enough to debate any of the issues revolving around Israel and Gaza at the moment, or Israel and Hamas. No, he'll just get someone on that is anti-Israel and throw them softball questions. I don't know about you, but that seems rather biased, and also like a demon is controlling him and saying, you must do this, go against Israel. I mean, the man said it himself, he was attacked by a demon. People get demon possessed all the time. And his behavior of late signals someone that is actually being controlled or demonic or possessed. And and also, by the way, demons never solve any problems because they can't. So Tucker isn't solving any problems. Instead, they make things harder. They make problems. Now, while Zoran Mamdani claims to have solutions, they lead into more problems. Tucker actually has no solutions whatsoever except making more problems, blaming the current solutions as problems. That's problematic. I don't know if you guys have noticed. So anyway, I think someone should actually point it out using reason, rationale, and logic. And I mean, it's Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's like been seen through Tucker for quite some time, ever since Tucker called him out for no reason whatsoever. Just attacking Ben Shapiro. Okay. Why? Bad idea. Now, I don't agree with everything that Ben Shapiro says, but I think he's right when it comes to Tucker Carlson. Anyway, I think it's time for people to open up their eyes and not follow false leaders or idols and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.